Shalom Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakadash, the Barnes, the apostles, and else great millstone for teaching us his truth, peace, and blessings to the hopeful elect of Israel. Shalom. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father in Hebrew. Ba'ashem is the name, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the begotten Son. Back in our lesson, and as seen in the title, Leviathan / Godzilla will come out in these last days. I came across this video right here. It says real life Godzilla. So I do want to play this quick video right here, and as we'll get a couple of scriptures that came to mind to go into Leviathan, or also known as Godzilla, which you see in these movies, which is ultimately a representation of Leviathan. You can look in the scriptures and see the similarities of that Godzilla has to Leviathan. And what do you think they get the inspiration from in order to create that type of creature? Obviously from the Bible. So let's get this video out the way just to get the information at hand, and we'll further that point. So Lord's will lesson be edifying.
Is now warning of a real-life Godzilla after Japan began the controversial release of the 1.3 million tons of treated radioactive water into the sea today. If you didn't know, for the last 12 years, workers at the plant have been pumping water through Fukushima's ruins in efforts to prevent the debris from overheating and causing further damage. But they say that storing all of that contaminated water is becoming too expensive and they're running out of space. So treating the water and releasing it into the ocean is what they've decided. The United Nations nuclear watchdog has approved the plan, with multiple regulatory bodies and experts concluding that the impact on the environment and people would be negligible. Some, however, either disagree with or don't trust these experts, with one of those being China. They accused Japan of using the ocean like their private sewer, and now imposed a blanket ban on all imports of Japanese seafood. Their state media also said that it could open Pandora's box and trigger fears of mutations leading up to the real Godzilla. Hey, it is 2023. So the question is, do you trust the experts on this one, or is this a...
And ultimately, you're seeing the spirit being pushed of Leviathan. As well as lately, you've been seeing a lot more chariots starting to pop up, especially, as we're progressing later in 10 days, you're about to see a lot more. And you're especially going to see Leviathan, which is also known as Godzilla, will come out in these last days, wreaking havoc upon this place, man.
Disaster waiting to happen. China...
And also, the ocean, I believe not even 10% of it has been explored. So I should get a rough estimate. How much? Bear for a minute. How much of the ocean? Which I believe is not even over 10. Yeah, let you see right here. In fact, most of the waters remain unexplored, uncharted, unseen by our eyes, and ultimately Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai is hiding away, Leviathan, and also maybe other creatures that are down there. You'll see, a lot of these, I forget the exact term for these, people that, go and, search out the ocean for different animals and all of that. But you also see, new creatures being found from time to time. I forget the exact, name that they, have for people that go out and search for these types of things. But it's, in fact, most of the waters remain unexplored, uncharted, and unseen by our eyes. It might be shocking to find out, but only 5%, 5%, man. Only 5. Now imagine all the creatures that are down there, especially Leviathan, man. And I'm pretty sure the AZ devils know. Because also you had I think around last year, you had these devils testing out a bomb, underwater. See if I can find that video. Bomb test in water. Forgot the exact video. And it took me to YouTube. Gotta find it right here because it was pretty. I say it's pretty recent. I think it's right here. Back to Shy. I think it's this one. No, it's 1995 or 1958. We'll still play anyway. I believe also in the movie they kind of showed how Leviathan was pretty much awoken, or Godzilla in the movie. It was by a huge explosion. And I'm trying to find this video Alright, I found the video, Slovakia. I was trying to remember exactly what the title was to find this video, but it says must see massive underwater explosion from Navy aircraft carrier test, and this was over 2 years ago. A lot of times they don't, just do these things, for no reason. But I was just want to get that video since I mentioned it. But let's go back to this right here. Go into how much of the ocean has been explored. One more time. Now it says, in fact, most of the waters remain unexplored, uncharted, and unseen by our eyes. It might be shocking to find out, but only 5% of the ocean has been explored and charted by humans. The rest, especially its depths, are still unknown. That's why you still have all these creatures, still being found out. But that's pretty much that right there. And I think we already got this video too. I also have a couple of videos I got just to give it a little example. Oh, we don't need that anymore. So I'll get a couple scriptures, and then we'll get shows one this down here. Book of Job 41 and 1 through 34. This is, gonna fly through these. It's gonna be describing Leviathan, or also known as Godzilla, in these movies, which is once again a pretty much clear-cut, representation of Leviathan. Now it says, "Canst thou draw out Leviathan with an hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? Canst thou put an hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? Will he make many supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Will he make a covenant with thee? Will thou take him for a servant forever? Wilt thou play with him as with a bird, or wilt thou bind him for thy maidens? Shall the companions make a banquet for him? Shall they part him among the merchants? Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? Lay thine hand upon him, remember the battle, do no more. As behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him?" We're gonna have people having heart attacks at the sight of Leviathan. And all these things right here just go to show that he's not no regular creature, man. Can't draw him out with a hook. None of these spears that Esau even used to catch his whales, all these different animals, won't penetrate his skin. And you'll see in the movie, of Godzilla, which I have a couple videos to show right here, going into the movie Shin Godzilla, which is a different version of Godzilla. But you probably see none of these things that these devils have dealing with the guns, the missiles, work on them. But it says verse 10, none is so fierce that dare stir him up, who then is able to stand before me. And you best believe there's no reason why these devils are not deeply exploring that ocean, man, because they know something's down there. You best believe that, man. But yet these devils somehow know more about space than the ocean. Come on, man. Verse 11 now says, "Who hath prevented me that I should repay him? Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine. As I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely proportion. Who can discover the face of his garment, or who can come to him with his double bridle?" Or brittle, if I said it correctly. Now, I say, "Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another. They stick together. They cannot be sundered. And it says, by his neesings a light doeth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out." What does this sound like, man? Once again, going back to the movie Godzilla, which is another great example, man. What do you think they get the inspiration from in order to create that type of creature, man? And a lot of times, a lot of these movies take inspiration from the Bible, man. Especially dealing with spiritual power. Superman, which is his name, Kal-El, going to the Hebrew, which I believe goes into, all power. I forgot the exact, I believe it's all power, if I'm correct. But let's continue on. Correct me if I'm wrong. trying to remember exactly what his name means. Let's see. Read verse 19 one more time. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out. As out of his nostrils goes smoke, as out of a seething pot or cauldron. His breath kindles coals, and flame goeth out of his mouth. And we'll get a good example right here, which I have a couple clips. I was planning on making an edited, or an edit, going to Leviathan and how he's gonna come out in these last days. So I'll probably play a little bit of it with sound and mute the rest of it because I believe it's probably gonna be copyrighted. But let's play this real quick. There you go. And this is a perfect example. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and out of his and sparks out of fire leap out. As out of his nostrils goes smoke, as out of a seething pot or cauldron. His breath kindleth coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth. In his neck remaineth strength, and sorrow is turned into joy before him. As the flakes of his flesh are joined together, they are firm in themselves, they cannot be moved. As his heart is as firm as a stone, yea, as hard as a piece of the nether millstone. When he raised up himself, the mighty are afraid. By reason of breakings, they purify themselves. And you also have a lot of brothers that will have visions, dreams in the night of Leviathan. I remember I kind of had a similar dream, like it's a while back. But let's continue on. Which is that right there is also an end time sign. Lord pour out his spirit upon all flesh. So a lot of people seeing these visions. But now it says, when he raised up himself, the mighty are afraid. By reason of breakings, they purify themselves. Now it says, the sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold, the spear of the dart, nor the habergeon. If I said that correctly, he esteemeth iron as straw, and brass as rotten wood. So steel, iron, and all these different things are pretty much just, twigs to him, Compared iron as straw. You know how feeble straw is, how weak it is. You can literally just twist it and break with your fingers, man. A baby can break it. And brass as rotten wood. You also see how easily broken away rotten wood is. It falls apart at the touch, man. This going to show us the might of Leviathan. And guess what? Yahweh Shai is going to unleash him upon this place. This is how you have the movie, I think, I forgot the exact title of it, but going into the scene where you have that guy, which pretty much, playing, I believe, the Most High in the movie, but, he says, unleash the Kraken. Well, guess what? Yahweh Shai is going to unleash Leviathan, man. Now it says, darts are counted as stubble. He laugheth at the shaking of a spear. Sharp stones are under him. He spreadeth sharp pointed things upon the mire. He maketh the deep boil like a pot. He maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. Verse 32, he maketh a path to shine after him. One would think that the deep to be hoary. Upon earth there is not like his, upon earth there is not his like, who is made without fear. He beholdeth all high things. He is a king over all the children of pride. Which is another, great book to explain or describe, Leviathan. We've got a few examples, right here. Just play one time. I'll be also later this year gonna have another movie, pretty much, about Godzilla coming out. So you're seeing the spirit being pushed, about Leviathan, man. And also, we'll get that quick trailer because it is a good trailer. I believe it's called Zero trailer. It looks pretty good too. So
everyone in the Order knew Anakin Skywalker. Few would live to see what he
wrote that
became.
for a minute.
Before the end of the Clone
You know,
Wars,
Slocky
I
of his
walked away
lesson
from
kind of
him.
long, but my Lord's rule is edifying and to the point.
Master, I know you can do this, Ahsoka.
Godzilla. -1.
So right there you go. As I mentioned earlier, you've seen that spirit being pushed. Now, let's see on with the other few scripts I got. And which is like it's kind of long, but Lord's rule is edifying. Now this is Book of Genesis, the first chapter and 21st verse. Now it says, "Now Elohim, which is right here going to the powers, created great whales," and of course this is obviously speaking of literal whales, but as well as speaking of Leviathan. And that's why it's important to go into the etymology of the word so you understand what the scriptures is speaking of. So we'll read this full thing right here, and we'll get the blue letter going into the etymology of the word whales, because you'll see that speaking of another creature also. Thus in Elohim created great whales, and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly, and after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. Now, let's get over here, which is same book of Genesis, which we'll go back right here so you see it. Genesis 1:21. Let's go back to whales. I do want to get the etymology of this word real quick. I think I'll move past it. Right here, okay.
Strong's H8577. Tanim. Tanim.
Alright, now when you go to Strong's definition, now it says intensive from the same as H565. Now it says a marine or land monster. Actually, a little bit more. There's a sea serpent or jackal, dragon, sea monster, serpent, whale. So what whale can be labeled as a land monster as well as a marine? And as you know in the movies, Godzilla, he maneuvers in the water as well as walks on land. So it's also speaking of literal whales, but as well as speaking of a whole nother creature. There also could be many Leviathans, because it says whales. But let's continue on. Let's read that one more time just to bring that point home. Genesis 1:21. Now it says, "Now Elohim created great whales, and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And the power saw that it was good." Now let's continue on. We got a couple more. This is Psalms 104:26. Now it says, "There go the ships. There it is that Leviathan whom thou hast made to play therein." Because Yahweh Hashem is also going to sick once again Leviathan onto these devils, man. Because you're going to have them trying to escape into the sea, into deep underground, to these space stations that they got. But guess what? You will not be able to, because Yahweh Hashem has covered all routes of escape, all routes of exit. Going into the water, which is going to be a Leviathan. The ground troops is going to be the Lord's elect. And also going to the Lord's Air Force, which is going to be the angels that are in those vehicles, those chariots, man. So you devils will not be able to escape. Which we get a scripture to go into in the book of Amos. So read Psalms 104:26 one more time. Now say, "There goes the ships. There is that Leviathan whom thou hast made to play therein." So those ships are not but toys of Leviathan. This is how you used to have your little boat toys in the tub that you play around with. That's pretty much what it is to Leviathan, man. Nothing. Your missiles, your guns, your harpoons, none of these things are gonna pierce them. And Lord, when I make a little edit just to, bring a little bit more imagery to your head of, the times that we are coming into and what you're about to see, man. Because we're in some very evil and scary and dark times, man. Especially to those that are wicked, that are not repenting, that are not getting right. Those are our wicked people. And as well as these heathen nations, man. You have seen nothing yet, man. Just wait until Yahweh Shemashah really starts to kick things off, man. And as we also read in the book of Job, you're gonna have people dying at the sight of Leviathan. People getting heart attacks, man. Seeing how massive and scary that creature's gonna look like. Which is actually get there real quick and have just get one last video, which I have to go along with the lesson. Let's see, right here, verse 9. Let's say, behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him? Which I have another video right here. And I'm just gonna mute it just in case I get my whole video taken down. But just another example. Now let's go back to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 11, verse 18. And as I mentioned earlier, you also may see other creatures come out in these last days. Now it says, or unknown wild beast full of rage, newly created, breathing out either a fiery vapor or filthy scents of scattered smoke. So what type of creature that you see now is able to, spit out fire? None. None comes to mind. And coming these last days, you're about to see Yahweh Shai unleashing them upon this place, man. Leviathan, maybe also other creatures like I was mentioning. It's an unknown wild beast full of rage, newly created, breathing out either a fiery vapor or filthy scents of scarlet smoke, or shooting horrible sparkles out of their eyes. There's also this recent video that came out of a so-called sea monster was spotted. So I'll get that video to play real quick. Alright, so I was trying to find that video, but I have it right here. Now, it's a massive ice creature filmed in an Alaskan river has scientists stumped. So let's play this real quick.
Finding in Alaska has a lot of people scratching their heads this morning. Take a look. An Alaska Bureau of Land Management worker in Fairbanks was checking out the ice on Wednesday when he saw this. He recorded something moving up the river. Now, this video was posted to the Bureau's Facebook page. They admitted they're not sure exactly what it is. Then they added, we're letting you be the judge.
Whoa.
And it's not something that has that ice on it.
Well, that's what I thought, but then look how it curves and it's all attached.
When people are saying it's debris, it's ice, this and that, but it's going upstream, it's maneuvering around. Like, come on.
So my first thought would be a sturgeon.
Yeah.
But sturgeons dwell at the bottom of lakes.
It looks like an alligator, which we know it isn't. They don't live.
It does look like an alligator.
But it looks like a cold water alligator.
Weird.
But there you go. I was mentioning, going to Wisdom of Solomon 11:18, you may have other creatures that may come out into these last days, which the Lord may reveal. As there are unknown wild beasts full of rage, newly created, breathing out either a fiery vapor or filthy scents of scattered smoke, or shooting horrible sparkles out of their eyes. So what types of creatures do you see doing these types of things now? None. And that's why I also have the scriptures, going back into Ecclesiastes chapter, I believe 39. Going into, teeth of wild beasts, which Yahweh uses animals as a form of judgment. So you may see some of these creatures come out. Read Psalms 104 and 26 one more time. And also why the scriptures also touch on and go into how the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. Because, we're going to be, on the move, man. So I keep going to how, we're going to be as a pilgrim upon the earth. We're going to be on the move. Let's see. Got some right here. It's the book of Job 5 and 23. So the Lord may, send certain animals upon certain people that are maybe chasing after you, whatever the case may be. Because Yahweh Shema Shai is going to be performing great miracles, man, coming these last days for those that believe his elect. For those that endure and remain faithful, Yahweh Shema Shai is going to defend them. You best believe that, man. Job 5:23 now says, "For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beast of the field shall be at peace with thee." So wait, there you go. You're going to have these animals be at peace with us, man. Bears and all these different animals, man. And maybe even these new creatures that may come out and start attacking people in these last days. Lord may be using them in order to protect you in a certain situation. Which you'll see in certain movies where you may have a person running away from, adversaries, and you'll see like a bear will come out and attack them out of nowhere. So you may see types of things like that, man. And it's why the scripture going to we're having some times that we have never seen before all throughout history, man. And there's many accounts in the scriptures where the Lord sends animals out to attack people, dealing with those, I believe, those 2 mother bears. Which you got a scripture here to go into that. Just look it up. But I think I was correct. 2 Kings 2 and 24, just to bring up that account. And he turned back and looked on them and cursed them in the name of the Lord. And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the wood and tear 42 children of them. So I just wanted to bring that up. Yahweh should I send out angels, or not angels, animals out to attack people. Now let's get a few more. Matthew 24, and then let's shut it down with 4 more scriptures, and that'll be that. So Matthew 24 and 21 through 22. The slide is kind of long, but Lord, some tiny points together. That's my ability to be edified. And as it further shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So we're in some times that we have never seen before, all throughout history, showing you how heavy this judgment really going to be. Now, verse 22, and except the days shall be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved, but for elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So Yahweh shall hasten those days for his elect. Now, the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 2 through 3. One of the scriptures I was mentioning earlier, we're going to have these devils try to flee away. As though they dig into hell, meaning deep underground, then shall my hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. So once again, Yahweh Shai has covered all routes of escape. You're going to have these devils trying to hide underground. So I script going to in Jeremiah 16 and 16. Very soon those fishers are going to be turned into those hunters, man. And these devils are going to be hunted, man. One more time, though they dig into hell, then shall my hand take them. Though they climb to heaven, thence will I bring them down. Dealing with the chariots. These devils think they're going to flee into the space stations and, get away from their coming judgment. That's going to be the case. And you also may think that you're going to be able to flee into the sea, hide in these submarines. Well, guess what? The Lord has something for you. And though they hide themselves on top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. That serpent being Leviathan. So come on. And you best believe Leviathan is going to come out in his last days. Job 20 and 23 now says, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So once these devils think that they're about to fulfill their plans and do everything they exactly wanted, Yahweh Shema Shai is going to cut you off, man. That's why it's going to how Lord has set bounds that he cannot pass. You're set to rule for a certain period of time. And that's why it says right here, when he's about to fill his belly, when you think you're about to accomplish everything that you wanted to do, guess what? The Lord's going to strike you down. Yahweh Shema Shai shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain upon him while he is eating. While you are, comfortable and thinking everything's all fine and dandy, Lord's going to get you. Now, 1 Thessalonians 5:3. To close it out. Now it says, for when there shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So there's no peace nor safety coming to this place, man. But you know what is coming? Death, destruction, death. Once again, judgment. All these different things. Yahweh Shai is finna rain upon this place, man. Plagues, pestilence, and all these different things, man. But let's see. And I think that's all that. You know, this lesson was kind of long. You know, I was, came across that video going into all that waste that's being, pretty much pushed out into the waters, and also been going to that spirit that's being pushed, about Leviathan, especially going to that new movie that's going to come out, later this year. So you're seeing that spirit being pushed, man, and just want to get a couple scriptures, that came to mind going to how he's going to come out in these last days, because people, will call us crazy, will call us conspiracy theorists, and, mock and scoff, but guess what? Once you see these things, guess what? You know that a prophet has been among you, warning you. Going to Ezekiel 33 and 33, how you know that a prophet has been among you, Especially coming in the last days, you're seeing a lot more chariots starting to pop up, So a lot of people are starting to, realize that a lot of these things that are happening are not, so-called normal, And this goes to show we're getting closer and closer to the end of this devil's kingdom, man, as we're seeing more and more of these end-time signs. Especially now, you're having talks about Leviathan, or also known as, or aka Godzilla, But, Lord was lesson was edifying. So I kind of rambled a little bit throughout the whole thing, but, Lord was edified, and I got the point across. Now I do want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Shem Hashai, Bashem Kakadash, double honor to the apostles, and those great millstone for teaching us this truth. Peace and blessings to the whole collective Israel, and Shalom. See you next one, Lord willing.